Hello, my name is Marc Jeffrey, and you are listening to episode 11 of the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show, brought to you by MPC Solutions. Thank you for joining me on what is now episode 11 of the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show, recorded April the 27th, 2017, from the studio on the hill, southwest UK, not a million miles from London. A podcast of my life through a lens aimed to inspire you, cheer you up in times of need, and possibly make you feel that your life is ready for the next episode. Coming up in this episode, I'll be talking about what I got up to this weekend for my birthday, my 40th birthday bash. I briefly take a look at the new up-and-coming solo album from Liam Gallagher and discuss how different it will sound without the influence of Noel Gallagher. And on top of that, we also have two amazing songs from the sound that is Dan Jeffries. I'm going to start this week's episode with two apologies, I'm afraid. Firstly, with all the comings and going-ons of the weekend, I was unable to land the interview with Mr. Rich and the Caretaker. But if you're a fan or just curious, I can promise you, hand on heart, that they'll be joining me next week in the studio to record a very, very exciting interview. Right, my second apology. Well, on episode 10 last week, the name Gremlins struck me once again. For you guys that are a regular listener to this podcast and used to listen to my show Monday Night Jukebox, you will all know what I'm like. I'm terrible for names, always getting them wrong. And you may recall I played a cover of Runaway Train last week, which I said was by Last Orders. Band members were Zoe, Dave, David, Paul and Mike. Well, I was wrong. Oops, sorry guys. In fact, the song I played was Runaway Train, but it was by Last Orders Unplugged. A slightly different lineup for this project, so Dave tells me. As usual, the lovely Zoe Miller is their singer, but no Paul on drums and no Mike on bass. And they have Nick on bass and percussion. So thank you, Dave, for correcting me. I hope I've got it right this time. And if you'd like to find out more about them, look them up on their Facebook page, Last Orders Unplugged, as opposed to Last Orders Plymouth. Now, Dave did go on to add that he loved the podcast and for me to keep up the good work. So thank you very much, Dave. Kind of confusing that, isn't it? Anyway, as a token of goodwill by me, here is a chance to catch them very briefly once again.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. Got a world of trouble on my mind. Thought the one of them too. They want to stone me. One says he's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wind drive you crazy. Not enough while you still can.
That was Last Orders Unplugged with Take It Easy. And thank you very much, Dave, for getting in contact with us and correcting me on that one. Anyway, moving on, I hope you've had a great week. Tell me what you've been up to. jaff10@hotmail.com. That gets you in contact with me. Thank you very much for all of your kind comments that you've sent in the last week or so regarding episode 10. Your support is immense, and I can't thank you enough. If you've missed any of my previous episodes, you can check them out on Mixcloud. I'm also on iTunes, YouTube, and check out my webpage, www.jaff10.simplesite.com. Anyway, it's been a very hard weekend for me and the family this weekend. Sadly, we've had 2 bereavements in the family, and it's times like these when it sinks in that you really have to take each day as it comes and love your family and friends that's in your close circle around you. It was this weekend that I realised, me personally, how amazing the friends around me are and the lengths that they would go to look after me and to keep me happy. Now, it doesn't matter how often I see my friends. My true friends will always stick by me. They will go out of their way to help me, support me, comfort me, and every time I ask them, to be there for me, they are always there. Now, why am I saying this, you may ask? Well, this weekend, I spent the whole weekend with 4 very special people in my life. Some of them have always been special. Some of them I didn't realise they were that special until this weekend. But nevertheless, I've had a cracking weekend, and it was all down to them. This weekend, I celebrated my 40th birthday. Now, officially, it's not my 40th. It's not my 40th until the 10th of May, so don't panic. You still have time to send me in your birthday cards, birthday cake, beer, whatever you want to send me in. But I had my going away bash with my mates this weekend, and the reason why this was because it was the closest weekend that I got to my birthday. I have one Saturday off in 4, so it was the closest weekend that I had off to spend with my friends. Anyway, I started arranging my my birthday bash about a month ago, to be honest with you. I left it to the very, very last minute, and I got about 15 of my close friends showing an interest at the time about going away, doing something. So it was about a month and a half ago, I started the discussion on Facebook, asking my friends who would be interested, where they would be interested in going, how much money they've got to spend, and all that sort of gubbins. And we come to, after checking out prices for Amsterdam or renting out cottages or even going on a barging holiday, slowly but surely my friends started dropping out, whether it be due to funds or work and family commitments, or basically them just realising that they didn't like me. Eventually, the 15 on the shortlist came down to 6. Now, it was quite hard, to be honest with you. I'm 40 years of age this year, and of all those 40 years I've spent on the planet, the best that I could get, the amount of people that I could get to come to my 40th birthday was 5 plus my brother. To be honest with you, I felt a little bit of a loner, to be honest with you. And then I looked back at myself and I thought, well, the last 10 years of my life, really, I haven't really made an effort for my friends. I've been a grump. I haven't really. I know. As you get older, you get your family and your family around you, and they take up a lot of the time. But it's finally sunk in. I have to do something with my friends this year, and I've, so far 2017, I think I've made more of an effort. Anyway, to top it off, 3 days before we was about to go away on the trip, sadly, my brother dropped out due to work commitments. Such is life, I told myself. I can't say that I wasn't disappointed, because I was, but such is life. We've all got to work and commitments. And it was then we decided, instead of going away and spending money and flights and all that sort of stuff on hotels, that we was going to stay in the beautiful county of Cornwall to celebrate my 40th. That is where we live, which many of you know where it is. But if you don't know where it is, it's southwest UK. So get out there on the map, check it out, have a look, and get on over and see us over in Cornwall. It's a beautiful part of the country. And where else in Cornwall to spend the weekend but in my very own static caravan, which is situated in Padstow. Now, by doing this, this is kind of like saved us quite a bit of money, to be honest with you. And we thought that we could all 4 or 5, or we could all get down there and we could use it as a hub and we could go away and do stuff from there. So we travelled down on Friday evening, all 5 of us. And these were friends that I've known over the years, some of them for a long, long time, some of them for a short time. But each and every one of them took the time out to come and spend time with me, which made it very, very special. And can I say that one of them was very, very close last week to financially losing everything. Until last week, he didn't have a job. He had very little money. He was close to losing his house and his business, but he still scraped together money and time to be part of my special weekend. And when he told me this, it kind of brought it home to me how very, very lucky I was to have these 4 friends around me, and it made me appreciate what I got in life. So Friday night, we finally arrived down the caravan, and no sooner had I opened up the caravan doors and the car doors and unloaded copious amounts of booze, we was all unloading our cars except for one person. This was JJ. Now, JJ is a lad from South Africa. And what is it about South Africans and barbecues? Or should I say braai? They call it braai over in South Africa. And I've never asked why. I don't know why they call it a braai. What is a braai? Get in contact with me, tell me. But as soon as we rocked up, he was on the deck next to the caravan. He was turning on the gas of the barbecue and loading it up with chicken, belly pork, sausages, burgers, anything, any meat really that we could get our hands on. And it was a feast fit for a king. And he done us proud. He did not let us down. JJ, you done us proud, mate. And on more than one occasion this weekend. Thanks for your showing us your amazing culinary skills that you blessed us with. I thank you very much, mate. Anyway, after we had our nice barbecue, we taxied it down to St Mirren, which is the local village which our caravan is based in. And we went to the local ale house where we stayed there. And well, it was too early hours of the morning, to be fair. I think we finally left there about 1 o'clock. Socially confused. We taxied it home, back to the caravan for more fun and games. And we'll leave it at that, shall we? Leave it till Saturday morning. Saturday morning, we woke up bright and early. I think we rose about 9 o'clock it was. And I think it was about 9 o'clock. We was all still feeling slightly drunk. And we had to... You may be asking, all these lads down the caravan, getting drunk, having a good time. Why did we get up at 9 o'clock? Well, the reason why we was up at 9 o'clock is because we previously, the day before that, arranged to go-karting. Now, at the time, on Friday, it seemed brilliant. Yeah, we'll go-karting. We'll have a great, great time. Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, after the night before, it didn't seem such a good idea, to be honest with you. So we decided that we had to go down to the cafe to have a nice greasy fry-up to make us all feel better. So off we traipsed, all went down there and had a nice fry-up, and it was really, really nice. But did it work, I hear you ask? Well, sort of. I can remember having my cup of coffee and my hands shaking, and after that, all me bacon and egg, I was still a bit spinny. But we decided that, get in the car, head on over to the go-kart track, still half cut, and we was going to rent some go-karts. Now, these go-karts are about 370cc engines. They are capable of speeds up to 70 miles an hour. We had been out on the lash the night before, still feeling a little bit, still a little bit drunk. Accident waiting to happen, don't you think? Well, to be honest with you, when we arrived at the go-kart track, I was stood beside the track there watching all of these karts zooming around the track. And then beside me, there was a load of testosterone-filled males, aged between about 20 to 50, all around us. And, there was me, JJ, George, and Chunk, and Daryl. And I was, to be honest with you, I was waiting for one of them to say, can we drop out? I really can't be asked. I feel like rubbish. Can we give it a miss? But we didn't. JJ went to the queue and inquired about the pricings and all that sort of stuff. And we eventually decided to go in and pay our money, and we was going to do a few laps of the track, 10 minutes of the track. So off we went and joined the queue, where we were armed with balaclavas and dressed in our overalls, waiting to be fitted for our helmets. Well, we waited in the queue about 40 minutes. And after about half an hour, seeing all these go-karts continuously going around the track, I finally came round to the idea, you know what, this could actually be quite a good laugh. So eventually we got on the track, and it was a busy day, to be honest with you. There was 25 of us in karts. We all got on the track in the go-karts, and we all started off and done our first lap, went round the track, getting used to the go-kart. And by this time, you know, my adrenaline was sort of pumping. At the same time, I was feeling a little bit sick. Didn't really want to be there, but did, if you know what I mean. We'd done the lap at the first lap, you know, heading into lap 2. And lap 2, suddenly the competitive head took over. And I realised after lap 2 that nobody today was going to pass me unless they put up a fight. So when, you know, done lap 2, zooming down the straight, heading into lap 3, was when I was then getting my top speeds coming through. You know, I was trying to get my fastest lap, going down lap 3. The go-kart was flat out. It was vibrating. There was fast speeds. And it was then that I realised that should I open up the visor of my helmet and be sick? I honestly, I really thought that I was going to be sick. But I took a big gulp, got my head down, and you know, done the best I could. And do you know what? I really, really enjoyed it. We managed to fit in about 7 laps of the track, and the personal best, the lap record was about 1 minute 7. And I think that between us, we managed to get about 1 minute, 1 minute 12. I think was the best that we'd done, and I come away with about 1 minute 20. So we was kind of pleased about that. So anyway, after lap 7, we got into the pits, got all the gear off, and then decided enough was enough. It was time once again to hit the pub. So we hired a taxi, headed down to the beautiful harbour town of Padstow to check out all the pubs that they had to offer. And it was a lovely hot day. We've had a cracking weekend. The sunshine was absolutely beautiful. You know, I couldn't have asked for better weather for the weekend, to be honest with you. So we stayed down Padstow, had a fair few drinks down there before we decided to head home back to the caravan and have another barbie, or should I say braai. And basically, you know, we had a nice belly full of meat again, and decided that perhaps we won't go out tonight, we'll just stay chilling in the caravan. And that was about that for Saturday. Sunday we woke up a little bit more compos mentis, but I did at one stage at about 11 a.m. in the morning take a look at myself in the mirror and saw me sat outside the caravan on the decking with a can of Stella in my hand. And it's then when you kind of realise that, you know, it's going to be another one of those days, to be honest with you. I think one of us piped up with the idea, you know, we're down on your caravan, and not once at any occasion yet have we been to the beach. So we decided that it was time to hit the beach. The area that got a caravan is blessed with 7 beautiful beaches. So we went to Harlan, I think it's called, and we hit that beach. And before we got to the beach, we stopped off at the local YHA for a nice burger, because they do some cracking burgers there. And a couple of cloudy apple ciders were consumed as well. And that was about it. That was what happened over the weekend, really. Just basically eating, drinking a little bit more, and spending some time with some amazing people. So it was an amazing weekend. You know, we couldn't have asked for better weather. The company I spent my birthday with was simply the best. And I'd just like to conclude by thanking Daryl, George and JJ and Chunk, aka James, for making my weekend, my special 40th weekend, a special, amazing weekend. Now, these guys didn't have to be there with me, but they were. And that's something that I'll never forget. And it made me appreciate life is too short. And we all, every single one of us, you and me, need to make more of an effort. 2017, we need to make more of an effort to spend that extra little bit of time with our friends and family, because, you know, like I said, life is too short, and you really, really don't know what's around the corner. Anyway, that's enough of me rabbiting on about what I've been up to this weekend. I think it's after that long story, it's time for me to have a bit of a slurp on a cup of coffee. But before I do, I want to introduce you to this week's special unsigned artist. His name is Dan Jeffries, and no relation to me, may I add. He's a Jeffries, not a Jeffrey. And this is what Dan had to say. Inspired to sing at the early age, Dan Jeffries started playing guitar at the age of 17. With no education in music and just one guitar lesson in major scales, Dan found inspiration through the artists he heard as he was growing up. Artists such as Bob Dylan, Guns N' Roses, and many, many more. Originally playing electric guitar, Dan has since gone back to basics playing acoustic after friends suggested it would be better suiting him in smaller, more intimate venues. He has been playing across the Southwest for many years now, using his trusty acoustic. Dan has written a number of tracks, but still uses electric guitar to create riffs because of his love of classic guitar heroes such as Slash. Described as a hybrid of blues and old school rock and roll, Dan has also fused influences of 90s alternative rock and punk. Whew, easy for me to say. Released in September 2015, Dan's debut EP, Urban Stories, is a collection of real-life tales from the streets and Dan's personal feelings on everyday life, which he hopes everyone can relate to. After being picked up by a label, Dan is now attracting gigs from across the UK. Influenced by Billy Joe Armstrong, Slash from Guns N' Roses, Noel Gallagher, Alex Turner, Bob Marley and Elvis Presley, Dan from Plymouth is definitely one to look out for. So here is Dan Jeffries with his new single, I Hope There's Room for You. You are listening to the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show.
Made up my mind and the road's open wide. This is the life I wanna lead. So roll out of bed to your 9 to 5. There's not much else that I can see. Do you dream one day something will change? You know it's all up to you. So wake up your eyes, read between the lines, 'cause they're not looking out for you. Heads in the sky behind one-track minds. I wish somebody told me to. Do you dream one day something will change? You know it's all up to you. 'Cause we're all going away one day, and that's why I don't wanna live in vain. Stability doesn't do it for me. I'm running away with a pocket full of dreams. I hope there's room for you. You light up my life like cat's eyes in the night. I'm really messed up in the brain. Don't ask me because I don't know why. The world never plays a fair game. Was it all too much for you to take? I'll try and be good to you. 'Cause we're all going away one day, and that's why I don't wanna live in vain. Stability doesn't do it for me. I'm running away with a pocket full of dreams. I hope there's room for you. time for me. I'm running away with a pocket full of dreams. I hope there's room for you. I hope there's room for you.
Taken from the new EP Sex, Drugs and Runaway Souls. That is Dan Jeffries with I Hope There's Room For You. Now, I totally love that one. And I don't know if you guys at home could hear the Green Day influence on that one, don't you think? Now, if you want to hear more, you can check him out on his SoundCloud page. You can also check him out on his Twitter page, twitter.com/Dan Jeffries 93. His Facebook page is Dan Jeffries 93. And all of these links you can find on my show description notes. In a short while, I'll play you another one if you fancy it. Yeah, of course you do. But first, Dan left me with this question, and it is Liam Gallagher's up-and-coming solo album and his gig at Reading and Leeds. My question is, how different do you think the vibe will be minus Noel as a key songwriter? Good question. Well, can I start off, Dan, by saying, and not only to Dan, but for the people at home, for all of you that don't know who Liam Gallagher is, then shame on you. He is the greasy, long-haired singer, formerly from Oasis, who has since formed a band called BDI, who incidentally are now split up. But he also owns his very own designer label, Pretty Green. And his brother, Noel Gallagher, also a member of Oasis, and the lead singer of his own band, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Both of them, may I add, I've been very lucky to have seen, and both of them I really enjoyed. Now, I saw Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds last year at Kendall Calling. They headlined Kendall Calling. They were absolutely fantastic. And I saw BDI way back in 2013. They were the opening act at Glastonbury Festival. So I thoroughly enjoyed both acts. Now, both of these guys, both have really big attitudes and clearly got issues with each other. But now Liam has a lot riding on this solo album that he's bringing out. His first solo album, may I feel. Now, I feel that this is a man with something to prove to his older brother. And I do believe that Noel also has an album that he is releasing soon. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there's a bit of there's a huge rivalry between the two brothers there. But personally, I like both of their styles. They both have something different to offer, in my opinion. Liam has more of an Oasis, a rough style, compared to Noel, who is he's a proper rock legend. Do you know what I mean? But I can honestly say I don't know what the outcome of this will be. I do think that Liam is like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. Liam's, he's never got over the fact that Wonderwall and most of the songs that were wrote on Definitely Maybe were true great anthems and wrote by his brother. And in my eyes, everyone thinks that Liam is the spoilt schoolboy. He's the spoilt kid that throws his toys out of the pram all the time. But in all fairness, I think that it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, to be honest with you. Personally, I wish that the both of them would just have their heads smacked together, sort their past issues out, and once again become the biggest band in the world. And I think that both of them, if they could do with listening to this show and realise that basically this show we've been talking about friendship, and it doesn't matter if you've fallen out with family or friend. Life's too short. No matter how big an issue it is, take time out, guys. Get together, just bury the hatchet, and then just get back together and start producing some of the best music that this world has ever seen. So I hope that answers your question, Dan. And all I can say to you, mate, is soul love, my friend. Anyway, let's check out Dan's second song, shall we? Here it is from his new EP, Sex, Drugs and Runaway Souls. Here's Strange House, here on the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show.
Put my choice and the devil wins. I'll let you know when I care about my sins. You know your friends were thinking the same. We hate to lose at Mother Nature's games. You're standing in a strange house and she knows that you're off your face. So make your move, 'cause one day she's gonna leave you with no trace. You could be dead tomorrow, don't waste the time you give them today. Just keep the record spinning and she'll take all your troubles away.
That was Dan Jeffries with Strange House, and I would like to say a special thank you for Dan for helping me out at such short notice and providing us with two cracking tracks. And if you're a band or a solo artist who would like to appear on the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show, then you can. Please contact me on jaff10@hotmail.com and check out my webpage at home, www.jaff10.simplesite.com. You can look me up on iTunes, Mixcloud, Google Music, and be sure to look at my show note for all the links. Once again, thank you for joining me on episode 11 of the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show. I hope you can join me for episode 12 next week, where we will have Mr. Rich and the Caretaker in the studio. I promise you that they will be here. We will also have more top quality music, and there would definitely be a yarn or two from me. So until next time, I leave you with this one thought. Look after yourselves and others, and remember this one thing. Your life may not be as crazy as you once thought it was.